I'm your host, Sean. That is Justin.
Sounds good.
We are just wrapping up a bit before we head out. We got to leave the Airbnb probably in about a half hour, so
Yeah.
got to run and catch a tram and then head to the airport. But we just got back from a little bit of breakfast, a little bit of rainy, but wanted to do one more quick little stream before we headed out while we're still here in Manchester. Just to get some thoughts on last night's match against Brighton, and then some of the latest and greatest transfer news that Justin and I were just kind of talking about. Obviously, we didn't go out on a high note as far as the Brighton match is concerned.
We were atrocious yesterday.
We were going to do a stream last night, but honestly, I wasn't feeling great yesterday, and we had to take care of a lot of stupid flight stuff. Our flight got rescheduled, so spent the minute taking care of that, but we had some time today. I thought I would go live, so hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss anything, and get your thoughts in as far as what the Brighton match goes. I know it's probably really early for a lot of you. That's all right. You can check this later, leave a comment. You guys know I will get back to you. Brighton match was a bit of a shit show.
A bit.
We we weren't we weren't confident ahead of that one going into it. Obviously, we know Brighton are much better than Southampton, and Southampton basically bullied us for 90 minutes or 80 minutes. And true to form, it just didn't go our way. Like we've seen against pretty much any other opponent that is typically, you wouldn't think of in the top four. Whether it's, Emmons or anything, it's just we just got bullied. We were outclassed, outfought. Physical mentality was not there. We just couldn't hang, and we showed for it. We were sloppy. We were slow. And we were talking about this last night, and I've talked about this on the channel before too. This whole slow build out from the back it can't work in this league. It just can't. Too many teams either press the defenders or they sit in a front four and block off all these passing lanes, and you can't do anything with it. It doesn't help either when instead of building out from a three, we're building out with a five, which means we've got only two midfielders to pass the ball out to, and of course we're losing the ball over and over again in our own third because we don't have bodies there. We're Mazraoui and Dallo. They're sitting back too deep. It's not helping. It's getting really frustrating. Now, this isn't me saying Amorim needs to switch tactics or formations. This is me saying, can we just change that, move the ball just a little quicker? It's more on the players than anything.
Can we change the players though?
Yeah,
We don't have the players that can actually execute what is necessary
that's
for
it.
Amorim's system.
Yeah, we can't. I can't film you on the window because it'll be dark.
They can hear me.
So we need to do something about just moving the ball a little quicker. And I mean, you could pick any phase of our team last night, whether it's the attack not doing well, whether it's the midfield losing the ball, whether it's defense falling asleep. Nobody had a good game last night. I'm not going to go too hard in on Onana.
Oh no, no.
It's
Oh no, no. You lost the game.
Onana was at fault for the third goal for sure. I think he could have done a lot better for the second. I mean, from where we were sitting, we were literally right on the little steps, the walkway right next to like where all the journalists are sat. So we had pretty clear views, but from that angle, you could also have a really good view of that ball in. I think it was from Adingra that literally went from our view. You could tell it was literally like a foot in front of Onana, and instead of just grabbing it, he just looks over his shoulder and just says, like we've been saying all season, somebody else will deal with it. I don't want to deal with it.
He lets Maz make the run to try to defend and then didn't do anything. And of course, they got a toe to it.
Yeah, we're switching off in defense, playing somebody on side for their opener, and then the third was just Onana spilling it. And then, like I've said many times, Onana makes a mistake, and what's he do? He lays on the ground. He did that in the Champions League last season, and Reguilon had to come pull him up, and he did it last night. Oh, not, and it's a microcosm of a bigger issue at the club, which is just lack of resilience, weak mentality, make mistakes, and it's everyone's catastrophizing. Everyone's thinking the sky is falling. Everyone wants to moan and whine about what has happened instead of taking it upon themselves to change what will happen moving forward. And that's got to change. But you can't train that into people. Top Bot Monkey Osama needs to stop yapping in the back. Bro, that's racist. You're gonna get banned. Famuyawa, is that how I say it? Damaleri, I'm watching from Nigeria. Big up, man. Good to see you. Yeah, if you're new to the channel, we've been doing this for a little under a year now, but obviously I don't have a Manc accent. I'm from the States, but my buddy Justin and I are here from the States for the last 4 days. We are just wrapping up before we get home. We were heading on a plane here in about an hour, so we wanted to wrap up before we left the Airbnb. If you guys, I'll put a link in the not in this video description, of the next video description. I'll put a link to the Airbnb in case anybody wants to come visit Manchester. We are about a block from the stadium. You can't see so that's the old Trafford cricket ground behind me. That's about a couple blocks south of Old Trafford. So we are very close to a tram stop. We are very close to everything pretty much. It's a quick walk, but I'll put a link in the description to this Airbnb. It's super cheap, very convenient. We've got 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. We've got a full kitchen. We got TV going on. This place is on point. It's about half the price of any hotel you're gonna find here. So you guys keep that in mind. But it's
Only
good.
what, like 5 minute walk from Tesco.
Oh yeah, it's super quick. We just came from Tesco.
Breakfasts are probably.
Famuya says I'm new to the channel. Well, welcome, my friend. Don't forget that like button. Subscribe if you are new. Let me know your thoughts on the Brighton match. Obviously, the women's team holding it down as always. They beat City 4-2 thanks to an Elatoon hat trick. We were gonna go to that game, but like I said, I wasn't feeling great yesterday. I almost got sick at the game yesterday. So
We were sick and we were a little depressed after that game.
yeah, it was a little rough game. I mean, it seems like the women's team could have made us feel better, but Famuyawa says, "Do you know that I'm Manchester United?" We lose yesterday. We did lose yesterday, Famuyawa. It was not great, but it was really cool to see a lot of the tributes for the Dennis Law. I don't know if you guys knew the channel. I posted a photo yesterday of the Dennis Law tribute in front of the Trinity statue. Obviously, we did the tribute ahead of the game. Sir Alex was there and everybody. So the match itself was just garbage.
Send you photos of that too, by the way, in a video.
Yeah, we need new players. Justin was just telling me today that Rayon Cherki could be set to leave Lyon for just 18 million. If we're not all over that deal in some capacity, we are making a huge mistake. Zaza says, "Where are you? I'm coming to your house." I'm at an Airbnb. We're about to leave. Famayo, I have subscribed to the channel. Awesome, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. Don't forget to check out any of the memberships if you want to find ways to get more involved in the channel. Tons of fun ways to get more involved. You can, with memberships, you can recommend scouting reports. I do scouting reports now and then. You can join in on the streams in the future as well. Rizu says we need Maguire as a number 10. Well, we tend to do this late in the matches. When we're down or when we need to go, we tend to leave the defenders up high and we tend to start hoofing it to try to get Maguire off the back post, get him to put a header across the face of goal, and we try to get someone else on it. It was just too little too late last night, just like it's been a little too late in this transfer window. We are just not
Got 10 days to do something.
We got a few days left to do something. We've not even sold anybody. Supposedly, Anthony is going to Real Betis. That could be confirmed any time now.
If we're lucky, by Friday, Rashford will be gone.
Rashford could be gone. Garnacho could be gone. Ericsson, Casemiro, who knows what's happening. But and I know I've said in the past that you can strengthen with addition by subtraction. We can strengthen team by selling players, but we need players. We need midfielders. We need bodies. It's not working. These players can't hang. Rizu says we tend to start getting worse too. Yeah, it's the mentality, man. We have no resilience. We make a mistake, we concede a goal, heads drop. No one has mentality. And the frustrating thing is, so I posted on the channel's Twitter page too the 1v1 stats from the Southampton match, which Justin and I were at, and then the Brighton match. The 1v1 stats, the duels, the dribbles, they were awful. Like, again, where was the mentality we saw against City? Where was the mentality we saw against Arsenal, Liverpool? It's all gone. Joseph, welcome to the channel, my friend. How are you? I'm good, man. How are you? Famayo says your players are so lazy. Yeah. The 3-4-2-1 does demand a lot. It does demand a lot of running. And quite frankly, it demands, in some cases, a little different profile to the players that we have. Mainu's not that guy who's going to get around the pitch and put in a tackle. He's very young. Mainu's literally only been playing first team football for a year. You remember he was injured until November last year, and he's still a teenager. But he's all we have besides Ugarte. Collier came on. Collier's done really, really well. So fair play to Collier as well. Dennis Bergkamp, wow, look at that. We've got if only Amorim came in earlier before the last transfer window. Yeah, in a way, it could have been better, right? That's also why he gets a little bit of a free hit. The problem I have with that is, Dennis Bergkamp, and thank you for checking out the channel, is if you're gonna move, if the club is gonna basically give him an ultimatum, like it's now or never, you have to join us in November, or that's it, we're moving on, then you have to back him somehow. You can't bring in a manager with such a different system mid-season and not help him out, because you're just setting him up for failure. We are legitimately in relegation form. I was watching the channel earlier, and I think it was Saeed, who reminded me that Everton have fewer losses than we do this season. Everton have fewer losses than we do this season. Goals for George, welcome back, my friend. Good to see you. Says, I'm glad you have now seen that it is worse watching it live in the stadium and fans see it. Everything you miss on TV. Amorim is playing a dangerous game, and I wish him luck. It is rough seeing this. You guys know when I was here last year, we lost both the matches I was here for. I was here for Crystal Palace and Galatasaray, and we lost. And then Justin and I were here 2 years ago. We drew Southampton 2 years ago. I think it was 0-0 actually.
It was a 0-0 game.
But we did win the Real Betis game when we were here. But yeah, thankfully we won Southampton.
One of the only goals Anthony ever scored here.
The Southampton match was a good match on Thursday, to be fair. I mean, not performance-wise, but it was a good experience to be in. But good to see you again, Goals for George. Family US says, you guys talking about footy in your channel. Yeah, man, that's the channel. It's United versus everybody. It's a Manchester United channel. Like I said, I've been doing it for since last April. But it's you absolute legends who are getting involved to help it grow so big. We've already reached 2K pretty quickly. We're on the road to 3K, so please don't forget to subscribe, like the video, share it if you want to. Like I said, just doing a real quick live before we go. You guys let me know what your thoughts are on some of these transfer news too. What are you guys thinking is going to happen with Anthony? We're going to see some moves this week. Rashford, Garnacho, Anthony maybe. Do you think we're going to sign anybody?
Maybe one, if we're lucky in time.
Maybe one player. I read that Tyler Dibling could be available for 20 million. I mean, that seems like a player that we should be looking at.
It's a steal, though. He's injured right now, though. He got injured against us.
Rakesh says, can I be your videos editor? I'm not that big yet, my guy. I'll keep you in mind in the future if the channel gets bigger. The videos usually look different. I'm using my phone because I'm in Manchester. I don't have my computer or my streaming software. So, Rizu says, Højlund and Xerxes combined don't even make one whole striker. Yeah, Højlund is starting to frustrate me. You guys know I've been defending Højlund because he's young. He's not getting service. I still think we're not playing to his strengths. Højlund is not a striker to play hold up with. The problem too is if you're watching the match, everybody is almost playing hold up because when we have the ball in defense, literally everyone is just facing their own goal. No one's making runs. There's no movement, and it just invites pressure, and we keep losing the ball.
Again, my biggest frustration with Højlund is that he doesn't do a one-touch shot. He doesn't have the natural instinct of a striker. Like, for a striker, dude, we were saying this with Newcastle. Like, Kluivert wasn't taking multiple touches. He's not a natural striker, but the ball came to him, and he would just place it. He wasn't looking for a perfect angle. Yeah. He would place the final touch. That's it. Redirect with power.
Højlund's not quite got that selfishness. He had a perfect opportunity against Southampton to score, and he ended up laying it off to Garnacho, and it just started falling apart.
He had multiple, and he missed one yesterday. So, yeah. Like, dude, take the shot.
Quandale says United are going down. It feels that way, doesn't it?
Don't believe the universe.
Fama says, I think we need a player that can play in that formation. We don't have many players that can play in this formation, but Amorim's getting a good look at who can play. I'm a little frustrated that we didn't get any business done early on, as we tend to do, though. Famio says, what time they'll go live? It changes just based on scheduling. You know, my schedule. This isn't what I do full time or anything, so it's a small channel still. So I don't have a consistent schedule, but I try to at least post the schedules at least a couple hours ahead of time so people know. Usually I'll do a video every day, especially, ahead of matches and then after matches, and then, as the transfer window is open for sure. Goals for George. An extra midfielder would have helped that pivot, but Amorim wants to die on that sword of two in the pivot. Ugarte is getting overworked and is now looking like Casemiro exposed. Yeah, it's Ugarte, and that's the problem. Ugarte and Menu are pretty much our only midfielders. I wouldn't. The pivot is fine as long as the wing backs move up a little bit when we have the ball and we're building out because it gives us extra bodies in that area of the pitch. We just been sitting so deep, we're not getting the ball forward, and it's really annoying. Riju says, "Didn't we sign a South American guy? We signed Diego Leon, who is Paraguayan. We signed him, but he's too young to join us. He'll be joining us in the summer. The young left back." Fama says, "I will come to the UK to watch your match on day." Yeah, if you definitely have the opportunity, definitely come to Old Trafford. It's really fun. Get downtown. We went to the football museum the other day. We were at the Salford match on Saturday as well. Top bot, you're gonna get banned, bro. Famoyo says, "I will summon my friend to like." Awesome. I appreciate that, Famoyo. I do appreciate that. Yeah, share the video. Let people know we're a United fan channel. Goals for George. This team could go down tools, and it is a worries. Many are now unhappy and are not happy that their profiles are suffering as they're looking bad and getting backlash. I mean, you guys let me know what your thoughts are on Amorim's comment yesterday after the match that this is the worst team in United's history. What did you think about that? Looking at it from a player's perspective, how would you feel if your manager said that? Was it tough love? Was it, uncalled for? Are people going to start calling him a bully like they called Ten Hag a bully? I've seen some channels saying, why not just play Rashford? At some point, I mean, is it too late to go back on the Rashford now? Is that it? Is that just done? Like, does it make Amorim look bad if we bring Rashford back? I mean, there's not really any easy answers, not really any right or wrong, but we have to start getting results because we've got, 6 wins, 7 losses since Amorim took over, 2 draws?
Yeah.
Rizu says, "I wish Eriksson had legs." So do I, man. Because he's not very press resistant, but which is really what we need, but he can offer a little something different. Fama US says, "Eriksson must go this season because he's not doing anything." Yeah.
True.
All right. I don't have any bots in the channel, do I? So we are going to do this. So you just got blocked, top bot, for being racist. So
Wait, what did he say?
keep calling you Osama.
Called me?
Yeah.
What?
Some people are just trolls. You gotta do. I'm not agreeing with it. I blocked him. Rizu says I reported him. Thank you, Rizu. I appreciate that.
Not even Arab.
I know it's ridiculous.
But
But
that part of the world. WTF.
I'm just gonna quick wrap it up. Get in some final thoughts. Like I said, we just want to do a quick live stream before we got going. Any final thoughts on the match? Did anybody play well? I think maybe you could say Ahmad, but he's been our shining light. But I have a problem with Ahmad with how many touches he takes when he gets into the box. He has an opportunity to put that ball in a couple touches earlier, and he keeps hold on to it a little too long, and then the opportunity's gone. I'd like to see him make a decision a little earlier in that situation. I think we could probably get a couple more goals. I'm not blaming him for anything. It's just a little criticism. It is splitting hairs a little bit, but
I mean, it is, but it's also important, though. Like, Ahmad has a really good talent for getting the ball from the wing, and he'll get it in the 18-yard or even the 10-yard box, but can't make that last pass in time to a striker or another winger or a center attacking midfielder. And he does it over and over again. Like, dude, just make that last pass as soon as you see an open body, and someone else can redirect it.
yeah, I just need to see him make a decision a little earlier. It's annoying. Goals for George. At least you got some hope from watching the academy players. Yeah, we did go to the academy, the FA Youth Cup match as well on Friday. The academy played Fleetwood Town at Leeds Village. That was pretty fun. The academy is looking very good. You guys, you've seen me do a couple of academy watch-alongs. We've talked about a lot of academy players.
Cheeto.
Cheeto
was the truth.
Cheeto was the truth.
Who's number 11? What's his name? Scanlon?
Scanlon.
Scanlon was doing pretty well, too.
The academy is.
Fletch's kid was great, too.
Yeah, Fletch's. Yeah, Tyler's very good.
Was it Tyler or Jack we were watching?
Tyler, yeah, they were both playing. Yeah, the academy's really good. Probably the best academy I've seen in a long time. But yeah, the academy match was good. Obviously, the Southampton match was good. Kaip, is that how you say your name? Kaip. Hello, welcome to the channel, my friend. Riju says, "Can we buy the Southampton winger that ate up Euro?" Sulemana.
Oh, that's what I was saying. He could break through the defense like it was going out of style. He embarrassed our whole right side last Thursday.
If we still played under like Ten Hag,
he'd be perfect.
It'd be a no-brainer. We just don't really play with wingers. If he had a little bit more maybe defensive bite, he could play like left wing back.
Actually, would he be?
What?
would he actually be that bad? Like, even if he wasn't defensive minded, all we have to do is change rotation. He'd be Ahmad on the left or on the right, and then or no, yeah, Ahmad on the left. Or no, they play the same position, don't they?
Well, he plays as a left winger in that system, but he's kind of playing as so Southampton are playing with like
And Ahmad
a
plays the
front
right.
two with basically a false nine in Fernandez. So it was Suleiman and Dibbling were kind of in a front two basically, and then
Yeah.
Fernandez was behind them. Cape says he's in Russia. Awesome, man. Riju says, could Mwani do a job? Mwani's at Juventus now, man. So I think Mwani's off the table. And then PSG just signed Cavaradona as well. So that's that there. Um, if
Fair.
if Shirky is only 18 million, that should be something we should be all over, honestly. Would you guys sell Garnacho to bring in someone like Rayon Shirky from Lyon? Better suited the position, you'd still be making a lot of money. Bexy, welcome back, Bexy. Will Garnacho be sold? I think he will. I will see. He's looking less and less like he's going to suit this system. So we'll see. Box, welcome back, Box. How are you, my friend? Just catching the last few minutes here. We are just wrapping up. Just wanting to get a couple of thoughts on the match. Dennis Bergkamp, Rashford is still at the club, but instead of using him in this poor season where he's clearly better than all our forwards except Ahmad, we're stuck watching subs like Garnacho, Hoyland, and Anthony. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem though. At some point, somebody would, in order for Rashford to get back in this team, somebody's going to have to concede. It's going to have to be Amorim or it's going to have to be Rashford, and I don't see either of them backing down at any point in time in terms of moving on. It's the Ten Hag Sancho situation all over again, except in this case, Rashford legitimately said, "I want a new challenge." So it's hard. It's not like there's a right or wrong. It's a shit situation all around. Bach says, "I'd like to get Cherky and keep Garnacho." Garnacho just his body language just looks worse and worse. He just looks like he's not really trying. Ridgey says, why do rising stars decide to go to PSG? They just fade into obscurity. You're at least almost guaranteed a French league trophy in PSG, but that's about it. I'm sure they get paid a ton of money too. Goals for George. Ironic if Rashford goes to Dortmund and soon later they sack Sahin and hire Ten Hag. Uncomfortable reunions. I did see some Ten Hag links. I think I saw that he was at a couple of Dortmund matches, and I've said this since last year that Ten Hag could easily go to Dortmund. And I said it once he got sacked and Dortmund started struggling. Like that's got Ten Hag written all over it. Box says Rashford has been a fairly big part of our club's decline. Yeah, Rashford, this is all in Rashford's hand. He's not playing not because he didn't do something well. He's not playing because he's not focused. His head's not here. And so we can't have players like that, which is what Amorim said. So it is what it is. It is unfortunate. We all wish it could have gone differently with Rashford. It's just the way it is. And but I'm holding off. I know there are some of you that are really, really big hate on Ineos right now. And I get that. Obviously January is, 3/4 of the way done, and we haven't done any business. And I said, what we do in January, or most importantly, what we don't do in January is really going to tell me what Ineos, are looking at this season. How are they already kind of writing it off? So far, we haven't done anything. So we're going to see. And I might be a completely different person after January goes by and we don't sign anybody. So Box says, same as people calling for De Gea and Fred to come back. They've had their time yet. De Gea leaving probably was the better decision. I think that I would have preferred us to keep Matty Kovar instead of signing Onana. Personally, I didn't think we needed to spend that money on a keeper, but it is what it is. Rizu says, I'm tired of this back and forth with Rashford. Sell him while he's still worth something. I think we're trying to get something out of him. It's not that easy. If you're not playing, it's hard to convince other clubs to buy you, and it's hard to convince other clubs to pay a decent fee for you. I think the option is the loan, and then maybe after 6 months, maybe he'll boost his value in the market with a good loan spell, and we can get more from him in the summer. Box says, I'm not player FC or owner FC, whether it's Qatar or Ineos. We still have many problems. Yeah, we do. We have to figure out what's going on the pitch, and I think we do need help in that regard. We can't, like I said, we can't basically give Amorim an ultimatum to come here or not come here and then not do anything to help him out. The guy's literally in a full squat for 90 minutes. Rich, hi, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. Just wrapping up here in a second. before we head out to the airport. Just had a breakfast. First of all, Rich, you're from Wales, right? Is anyone else from England? Why is there not many breakfast places here? We went to like 5 places around here this morning, and none of them had decent breakfast. We had to go eat at Tesco, which isn't bad, but I mean they're open at 6, and we got a full breakfast going on, which was nice. But you guys don't do breakfast here. It's interesting. So, we didn't have time to go take a tram downtown just to get breakfast, so a little frustrating. Goes to George. Amorim has turned that iconic picture of Rasmus, Garnacho, and Manu into a meme. Manu was sprinting and doing last-ditch tackles last season, but now looks sluggish, always jogging. And this, we know the players aren't fit. The players haven't been fit. Fitness has been an issue since Ollie was here. Ollie complained about it. Jose complained about it. Ten Hag complained about it. And Amorim has said, we're not fit. The urgency, and that was the frustrating thing last night too. It's 3-1. There's no urgency. It's like we gave up. If they were playing like they were up 3-1, and it said the other way around, it was freaking annoying. Bach says Amorim's comments comparable to Ragnick's major surgery. It's like and that's the thing. We all know this. Ineos should know this. The Glazers know us. We all know this already. It doesn't. This is why I don't like to give players a free pass under a new manager. You shouldn't need a whole season to see who's ready or not for this system. Amorim's system demands a lot of running and a lot of physicality and a lot of stamina, especially from midfield. And Manu's young enough, again, he's literally only been playing first team football for a year. He could get there. Ugarte's got it, but we can't play Ugarte every single match. We need rotation. We don't have it. Collier, thankfully, is looking like a very, very good option. He has impressed every time I've seen him play this season, which is the last couple matches he's come on. Collier should be probably third choice at the moment, just based on who else we have right now. And he's old enough. Rich has no idea, not a problem when you live there. Yeah, we walked to there's a coffee place. They didn't really have much. We walked to a couple other places. I thought the M&S would have a cafe. They didn't have a cafe. Tesco hooked us up though, so that's good. Rich says Amorim has to take some responsibility as well. Amorim needs to have some sort of a plan B. Now, again, I'm not saying changing tactics. I'm not saying changing formation, abandoning principles, as Robbie Savage likes to say. But you have to be able to impact the game. Manage is also a verb. It's not just your job. So you have to be able to impact the game. And bringing on Højlund for Xerxes isn't really going to do much, in my opinion. I mean, it is what it is. That's who we have to work with. And I'm not slating Højlund or anything. It's just that doesn't scream to me like some sort of inspired game-changing tactic. It just seems like when we're down, we're trying to nick a goal, we just start hoofing it long and trying to get Maguire on the end of some headers and knock it back into the box. Rich says he should be getting more out of the team. I agree. He should be getting more out of the team. The way we play, again, it's this horseshoe pass pattern. There's no onus, no impetus for anybody to get forward. I don't know what the trigger is to finally move the ball forward. We have defenders get it. Bruno drops deep, picks it up. He gets his head up and looks, but then it just passes it around. I'm like, what are you looking for? Because when I look in that situation, all I see is all our attackers facing Bruno or the defender. There's no movement. And that's why we're losing the ball. We're trying to play it 2 feet with our back to a defender, and we're just getting muscled off it every time. Bach says, I like Amorim. I like his confidence in his system. I like his belief in storms will come and be patient, but our dip in form and down the table is alarming. Yeah, this is the worst home run in a season, the worst home record that we've had in 100 years. That's not good. That's really not good. Rich says, Sir Alex didn't play the same way every match. I mean, I agree. I mean, you're preaching to the choir. It's that age-old adage, do you play your way or do you adapt to who you have until you get your players? It's hard. Rich says, Anthony leaving on loan. Hopefully this means we're bringing someone in. Is it official yet? I keep reading. I thought Romano did something about it. So if Anthony leaves on loan, all that's doing is freeing up. We might get a loan fee. We might get some of those wages off the books. It doesn't really help. Rich, I read that Rayon Turkey could be available for 18 million right now, and he's exactly the sort of player we need. So we should be all over that. But I'm going to wrap up. We got to be out here in about 5-10 minutes. So I wanted to make sure I stopped by while I was feeling a little better. Like I said, was not feeling great last night. And then our flight, we had to deal with some flight changes. So we're on a much later flight now, but it was annoying. Rich says we've been relegated, so not the worst team either. I think Amorim is trying to negotiate a free pass. We'll see. Buck says I'm surprised Postecoglou is still at Spurs. Fan polls suggest up to 80% want him out. Yeah, they're below us now on the table, aren't they? It's going to be interesting, Rich, to see how many fan channels, how many United channels, and how many people still stick around if we got relegated. I'm sure you'd see the fan channel content dip. Goals for George. Manu was a 10 like Foden, but how Amorim thinks he's a 6 or an 8 is shocking as he lacks the traits. We better get Anguissa from Napoli. I mean, goals for George. I mean, I hear you, but Manu's never played as a 10. He's only ever played as a 6 or an 8, basically. And under Ten Hag earlier this season, Manu's successful take-ons and his interception numbers were among the best in the league. It's just he's young, so he's not going to be consistent week in, week out, and he was injured for a bit, and he's had some good performances. I think we've seen that unless it's a big side, and these players just like Southampton, it really felt like we went into that match like it was a foregone conclusion, and we got punished for it. But I am going to wrap it up there, guys, because I do need to take off. So just wanted to say hey before I took off, and see we've got Rangers on Thursday. I will probably do a preview for that once I'm home. I'll be back later on tonight. So keep a lookout for that. I'll have some photos and stuff for you guys, and I will put a link to the Airbnb in that video as well, so you guys can check that out if you want. And if you're ever in Manchester, you want to go to a match, like I said, the Airbnb we're at is cheap. It's close to everything. We're right by the cricket ground, which is a couple blocks from the stadium. Perfect walking distance to everything around here. So, Box, yeah, we did enjoy the trip, man. It was, aside from a couple of these performances, it was a really good trip. And hopefully we can recreate our cup form in the Europa League. I hope so. We need to get into the next round. Yeah, Rich, Keane did it all in midfield, but modern players seem to only be able to do one thing now. Yeah, it's really annoying that you get called a 6 or an 8 or a 10. It's like that's your job. Like you don't have to do other things. I remember Scholesy and Nicky Butt have a podcast or a YouTube channel, and like last month they were talking like it didn't used to be 6, 8, 10s or whatever. It's just you're a midfielder. That's what you do. That's what you do. So, Box says, I see the U21s and women's team had big wins. Yeah, we were at the academy match the other night. It was a good match. So I'll fill you guys in on some more of the details when I get home. I will put some photos out and things like that. But until then, thank you guys for stopping by. We are going to take off. And I will hopefully see you guys in a day or two with a preview of the Rangers game. Hopefully we can lock that in. But thank you for stopping by. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new. And until then, I will see you guys on the next one. All right.